this is the first camp I can enjoy myself and be back. My headspace that I'm in now is way better than what I was before, and that's the only thing that mattered to me.
A lot of things out there about the size and all of this stuff, but people forget that Tank's a top 10 pound for pound fighter, and he's got power in both hands. And skill-wise and technique-wise, he's been doing this for so long.
In this fight,
I feel like Tank has the edge for sure. He's a real fighter, and got skills, high IQ fighter. Regardless of the weight, I've personally seen Tank, spar heavyweight.
The matchup between Jake Paul and Gervonta Tank Davis is one nobody saw coming. Two stars from entirely different worlds are now facing off in the same ring. Both are driven by the same goal, proving they're the superior fighter. And the hype surrounding this fight is undeniable.
Night and day, right? You have to understand, I went from doing YouTube and Disney Channel to 5 years, once to twice a day, 6 to 7 days a week, training, recovery, taking it more serious than ever. I'm just a different specimen. My body is filled out. I'm going into my athletic prime and going into that, and my body filling out, I just feel amazing and feel super strong.
Jake Paul has been vocal about the intensity of his training for the Gervonta Tank Davis fight. He's bringing serious talent into camp, proudly sharing that he's landed knockdowns in sparring. This week, even Shakur Stevenson is joining to help him prepare for the showdown with Tank. What stands out most, however, is Jake's rare admission: he knows Tank is dangerous. Many critics dismiss Tank due to his smaller stature, claiming he can't hang with someone like Jake. But Jake disagrees. He openly acknowledges that Tank's power is real in both hands, a force that hits like a runaway truck despite his height. That level of respect, even bordering on fear, speaks volumes. It proves that this fight is far from a gimmick, the danger is real, and the stakes are higher than many fans realize.
Going into a fight that I've actually ever been, because I know how good these people are that I'm sparring, and being able to see how good they are and knowing how good Tank is, it's actually going to be my toughest test to date.
Yeah, I think, Jake, you could make the argument, right? Pound for pound wise, this guy's the most ferocious dude in the whole sport, couldn't you?
For sure. I think he has probably one of the highest knockout percentages.
In 90-something%, right?
Exactly. And just his speed, his elusiveness, his ring IQ, his conditioning. He's gone 12 rounds so many different times, something that I've never even done. So he's going to be sharp all the way through. I mean, the list goes on. And so just actually being vulnerable for a second, it's like, this is crazy. This is scary. It's kind of keeping me up at night.
Jake, how do you prepare for, like you said, a guy who is shorter than you? How do you find a sparring opponent to replicate something that obviously, there's nobody else out there that's Tank Davis? How do you prepare for a guy that's different stature-wise?
Yeah, no, we have world champions. Raymond Ford in the 130-pound weight class. We got Montana Lovin. Shakur Stevenson is coming in this week. So wow. Just sparring against guys on their level and people who have, been doing this their whole entire lives. But we're really focusing on speed. And not as much on power. I'm not doing as much like weightlifting and all of that stuff. I'm actually trying to lose some muscle so that I have less weight and so that my punches are coming off.
Many fans don't fully appreciate the journey Gervonta Tank Davis has taken to reach this point. From the very start of his career, he wasn't just sparring with any fighters. He was working with heavyweights, and not just ordinary ones. These were skilled, experienced boxers who knew how to handle themselves in the ring. Showbiz, a veteran analyst, revealed that Tank didn't just survive those sessions, he dominated. He punished men much bigger than him, proving that size alone isn't a threat. If Tank could handle heavyweight sparring partners with such skill and authority, a cruiserweight like Jake Paul is unlikely to surprise him. Jake may be bigger, but Tank has faced greater challenges throughout his career. Those sparring stories highlight that he's no stranger to standing in front of a literal mountain of an opponent. The analysts point out that his former sparring partners were far more technical and seasoned than Jake. While Paul has improved and transitioned from influencer fame into serious boxing, he's still developing fundamentals. Tank, on the other hand, has been competing against elite talent since his teenage years, and Showbiz's view, this isn't a mismatch for Tank. If anything, it's Jake stepping into truly dangerous territory.
Bigger people, like from middleweight to heavyweight. And the thing is, don't be surprised, okay? This is a photo. This is a photo of one of the bigger guys that he was sparring. But in the past, you know, like maybe a few years ago, he was fighting a guy in Mayweather's camp. He was a bigger guy. I think he was like a middleweight or something like that. He was whooping his ass. One time he was like on live whooping a bigger guy's ass. I mean, he's just beating bigger guys like middleweights and stuff. He's done that in sparring forever. Remember this story? I've brought it up a million times and I've showed this clip a million times, but on Ellie Set Back. This story of this guy saying how Gervonta Tank Davis knocked out this heavyweight.
Tell me the story. What happened?
Tank, what's the one boy name?
No, don't say a name. I don't want to embarrass anyone.
Oh, no, you're right.
But tell people what happened.
Man, I was about to spar. Before I was about to spar Tank, he was sparring this big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this. I'm like, I thought he died. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought he died.
Hey, I've seen him knock out some heavyweights. He might knock all that ass out now.
You knocked out a heavyweight?
Yeah.
How was that?
Because I hit harder than Wilder.
Now, granted, the heavyweights that Gervonta Tank Davis is whooping and sparring is not like, you know, all-time great heavyweights, all right? And it shouldn't be. But he's sparring the heavyweight, the level of heavyweight that, you know, more experienced than Jake Paul, right? But Jake Paul has beaten those heavyweights himself, all right? I'm thinking that is the caliber of heavyweight that Gervonta Tank Davis is sparring, but he's whooping their asses. And that's a good thing. I feel with Jake Paul sparring Raymond Ford, to me, it looked like Raymond Ford got the best of him. It looked like Jake Paul was a little exhausted, and it looked like Raymond Ford wasn't. It looked like Jake Paul was a little disappointed in his performance, and Raymond Ford was trying to give him a pick-me-up. Like, you know, just kind of letting him out. No, like, you know, we do this and do that. It just looked like Raymond Ford was in a confident, secure place, more dominant place, the more alpha out the two in the ring. And that's Raymond Ford. That ain't Gervonta Davis. You know, I love Raymond Ford. I have him on my fighters list. But still, I don't think anyone thinks he's as skillful or as powerful as Gervonta Tank Davis.
Tank Davis has made a clear decision about his future. He's not going back down to 135 pounds. The cuts were too extreme, the drain too heavy. He wants to stay fresh, strong, and in a division where his power is at full capacity. His move up to 140 pounds reflects a mature mindset, preparing him for bigger names and tougher challenges, including the upcoming clash with Jake Paul. After the showdown, Tank plans to remain a full-time super lightweight, confident that he can deliver even stronger performances in this division. He wants to dominate and leave no doubt about his superiority on a major stage. Staying at 140 pounds opens up a broader range of opportunities for him. While some fans worry that Jake's natural size might give him an edge, Tank sees it differently. He feels this is where his body thrives, his stamina is sharper, and his knockout power even more explosive. At 135 pounds, he already produced spectacular knockouts. Now, in a heavier division, he aims to unleash show-stopping power. Jake Paul may very well be the first to experience the full force of this new, improved Tank.
I had been throwing fits a few weeks ago when Gervonta had announced that he would be fighting Jake Paul in, I believe it's coming up in just about a month, or a little bit less than a month. And that he would not be, at least immediately, he would not be rematching Lamont Roach. So people went all up in arms. Shout out to my guy, Big Dog Willie, who even right now is claiming that Gervonta Davis is going to go try to fight in WWE or something like that when he gets done with Jake Paul. But the truth of the matter is that Gervonta Davis is coming back to boxing. He's always said that he's coming back to boxing. He said he's going to run off, get this bag real quick, and he'll be right back. Well, as you see, the 135-pound WBA, the WBA, where he holds his 135-pound championship, has not stripped him. They said that they were going to look into it if he had not rematched Lamont Roach, but nothing ever really came of that. So as of right now, he still has his 135-pound title, but I'm telling you, the way that things are panning out, I don't think he's going to go back down to the 135-pound division. I think he's going to go to the 140-pound division where really and truly all the smoke is there. Add to it the fact that when he fights Jake Paul, he's going to be fighting Jake Paul at a higher weight than he would necessarily be fighting guys at 135 pounds. You're probably not going to see him drain down for the fight. I don't think he's going to bulk up at all, but usually even when guys play with their weight and they go up and allow themselves to fight at a higher weight or fight people at higher weight classes.
Karmamel views Tank Davis as a masterful boxer, while Jake Paul is still very much in the learning phase. He predicts not just a win for Tank, but a decisive, convincing victory. Having worked closely with Tank and observed him in daily training sessions behind closed doors, Karmamel's insight carries weight. Talent outshines size, skill beats raw strength, and that's what Tank brings to the ring. When it comes to this matchup, Karmamel's verdict is simple. Tank versus Jake Paul is a showdown where experience and ability dominate over hype.
Tank versus Jake Paul.
I feel like it's gonna be a good fight, entertaining. It's an exhibition, so we're gonna see how serious they really take it. But I don't know, they both getting a lot of money, so congrats to them.
What if you had it who has the edge in this fight?
I feel like Tank has the edge for sure. He's a real fighter, and got skills, high IQ fighter. Regardless of the weight, I've personally seen Tank, spar heavyweights, and even me, I spar heavyweights, So the weight's not really too much, for a lot of great fighters, so I feel like Tank gonna get it for sure.
Do you think he kind of be an advantage because he's small and fast? Someone said that. I'm I didn't think about that actually.
Yeah, possibly. He gonna see a lot of Jake Paul's punches coming. He can be able to evade them and then set him up for a big counter.
Wait, but do you think this is going to be different than the other Jake Paul fights we've seen, against Mike Tyson and Julio Cesar Chavez? I know a lot of people weren't the happiest with that, but I feel like Tank's going to give him a different fight. Do you think so?
I think so. We'll see how he adapts because a lot of people think it's hard, for a small guy to be fighting a bigger guy, but it's also hard for a big guy to be fighting a smaller guy. It's a small target, they're very fast, so we'll have to see how he adapts to it.
Wait, and is Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson really happening?
Yeah, that's happening.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Wait, is there a date already, or what's going on?
I'm not. I don't think there's a date yet, but it's definitely an official fight and it's happening.
So what do you got to say about that? What's going on?
It's gonna be a great show. Floyd's gonna do his thing. Hopefully I'm on the undercard so I can put on a great show as well.
No, really? You guys already talked about that?
Not yet, no, but we'll have to see. Yeah, for sure.
And are you gonna fight again this year? What's next with you, Karmel?
I don't know. At the moment, we haven't heard nothing. We're just waiting, staying patient, staying ready. But I should be back at least one more time before the end of the year.
When the fight was first announced, Shakur Stevenson was one of its harshest critics. He publicly questioned why a top-level champion like Gervonta Davis would choose to face a YouTuber-turned-boxer instead of another elite professional, calling the matchup almost an insult to the sport he's devoted his life to. But the narrative has since taken an unexpected turn. Reports indicate that Jake Paul financially persuaded Shakur to join his training camp, helping him prepare specifically for Davis's style. Fans and analysts alike were surprised by the move. Many argue that if Shakur truly believed this fight disrespected boxing, he would have stayed completely away. Instead, the very bout he once dismissed as a circus is now one he's actively supporting behind the scenes. Observers see this as a stark reminder of how quickly the business side of boxing can influence decisions, and how money can shift even the staunchest opinions.
A lot of money to help him in camp, some easy money to come spar somebody or whatever, go get your money, right? But what's funny to me is for someone who had nothing positive to say about this fight, and someone who was critical of Tank Davis for taking this fight and tried to shit on Tank Davis for taking this fight, he sure is doing whatever he can to be a part of it. He sure is doing whatever he can to be a part of the fight. And then to take that a step deeper and a step further, for someone who doesn't want to talk about Tank Davis anymore, he sure is making moves to ensure that he has continued to be mentioned with Gervonta Tank Davis. Shakur Stevenson is not stupid. The new firm that he hired to do his PR work and get him to do these interviews and try to enhance his brand, they not stupid. Jay Prince not stupid. Josh Dubin not stupid. The people around Shakur Stevenson have been building social media brands, building boxers, and building talent in different industries at the same time. I mean, for a long time. They know how this shit works. They not dumb. They know the conversation that is going to surround Shakur helping Jake Paul. Tank Davis' biggest rival going to camp to help Jake Paul. If Jake Paul has any kind of success in the fight, Jake Paul was successful because Shakur Stevenson is on a different level and he helped prepare Jake Paul for the fight with Tank. That's why Jake Paul did so good. They know this, bro. And to me, that's the problem that I always have with these guys like Shakur Stevenson. You can throw Lamont Roach in there. You can throw Devin Haney in there, bro. You can throw Keyshawn Davis in there if you want to. My issue is they won't admit what it is. And I guess it's an ego thing, it's a pride thing, because I get it, bro.
Offset offers a different perspective, focusing on the physical matchup itself. He believes Jake Paul's size and natural strength could give him a legitimate opportunity to make an impact. The weight difference is clear, and he notes that if Paul lands the right punch at the right moment, it could be decisive at the same time. Offset acknowledges Gervonta Davis's extraordinary skill set. Tank is the kind of fighter who can slip punches, counter instantly, and frustrate opponents all night. While Offset leans toward Jake due to his size advantage, he admits there's a real possibility that Paul might never land a clean shot. In his view, this fight is a compelling battle of contrast, raw power and size versus slick technique and elite experience. It's the classic showdown, a large, powerful challenger stepping into the ring with a highly skilled, seasoned champion.
You saw Jake Paul and Tank Davis?
I don't understand how that's happening, though.
I mean, that's kind of what Jake Paul does, right?
That nigga's 7'8", 6'7". I'm not saying 7'8". Like, the nigga's 6'4".
So you think Jake wins?
Yes.
This is kind of like the Mayweather versus Logan Paul fight. And Mayweather, he got the better of Logan for sure. I think Logan's even bigger.
Than Jake? Fuck no.
Logan's bigger than Jake, yeah.
He
like
is?
bigger, yeah. But Jake's now a more experienced boxer than probably Logan was at that time.
I don't know. That weight shit, man, that shit is a real thing.
What's the odds on that shit? I wonder.
It's
Not out yet?
Who do you think will win out of Canelo?
I don't really follow boxing like
Canelo,
that.
man. I like my boy, but Canelo's just
Canelo's a beast.
He not old. He still got it. He hit hard as a motherfucker. And then like the fighters he fought and lost to was some dogs though. Like most people won't get in the ring with him. So it's like I feel like I don't know. Has he got the? I don't know. I feel like he gonna land though. What's that? What's the odds on that?
Oh, listen to this. Davis is minus 205 to beat Jake Paul. Jake Paul's plus 155.
Wow, that's tight odds. Tank Davis is minus 205. Jake Paul's 155 opening odds. Dude, that's crazy. I don't know.
Tank 5'2" though, but it's like he's so short.
Fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm saying the height difference is
Like,
crazy.
is Jake even gonna be able to hit him? Like,
Or the
he's
other way
probably so
around.
fast.
He
Tank's
fast,
gonna be able
but
to hit
Tank-
Jake.
He's short though.
Tank's gonna hit him a lot,
6 or some shit,
right?
How tall is Tank? 5'7"? He's like 6'3". So different. That's
no, I know.
6'3" and big. Now technique, you got him in technique because he's for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I got to see that fight. That shit sound crazy.
You gamble on football? You sports
He had
bet?
to pay him a lot of money to that fight.
Oh, they're making so much money.
Some analysts point out that much of the criticism aimed at Gervonta Davis isn't about protecting the sport, it stems from envy. From the very start of his career, Davis has been a target for jealousy, and now that he stands to earn a massive payday in a single night, the bitterness has only intensified. Experts argue that many of these critics would jump at the same opportunity if it came their way. Yet instead of congratulating Davis for capitalizing on a historic moment, they continue to question his choices. According to these analysts, much of the negativity surrounding Tank is less about boxing and more about people wishing they were in his shoes.
Fire. I get the chance to pick a great business mind brain and help give him some game in the process. I'm down. Oh, we know you're down. So for one, you look like you hating on Tank, bro. Like you specifically. Two, this is the same guy that said he's not watching the fight, but now you're somewhat taking part in the fight because you're trying to gather or help prepare Jake Paul for the fight. And then this is what Shakur Stevenson does, in my opinion. Shakur will make questionable choices, do certain things, right? And then afterwards, he'll be like, yeah, now that I got y'all attention, I got everybody mad at me. Bro, the stuff you're doing is weird. You know what I mean? And it's almost like, to me, it's almost close to like Karen behavior in the sense that Karens, you see some of these Karens and they do all this extra stuff and then act like the victim. And I told you that's one of the main problems with Gen Z, right? Where Gen Z, they will do just weird things, make weird choices, make weird decisions, and then they'll act like, man, I'm Tupac, me against the world, everybody's against me. Everybody's not against you. You're just doing weird things. You're making weird decisions, it's weird behavior, so on and so forth. So let's ultimately recap. We got to do the boxing ego recap to see what's really going on here.
There's also debate surrounding the rumored earnings for this fight. Figures like $20 million or $40 million seem plausible to most analysts. But when some outlets suggest that each fighter could pocket nearly $200 million, eyebrows are raised. Many insiders feel such numbers are wildly exaggerated, almost too extraordinary to be credible. While there's no denying the fight's magnitude and the attention it's generating, earning that level of money in a single night still seems unrealistic to many experts. For now, the financial details remain a mystery, impressive in theory, but uncertain in reality.